Good evening, dear coding enthusiasts. Welcome to CS Saturdays 2.0. Yeah, 2.0. The first part was done in the year 2021 with the motto of bringing the problem solvers at one place and learning together. So, before going to CS Saturdays, let me introduce the Club Coding Studio. Coding Studio is the official programming club of VBIT. Under the guidance of Dr. V. Sridhar Reddy sir, it was established on October 27, 2018 with a vision to build a community of problem solvers in VBIT. Yeah, we work on problems, we solve the problems, we also work on coding, we also work on problem solving, etc. Yeah, here we innovate solutions. You also have gone through the websites like Pratibha, Abhyas, etc., right? There were few well-known innovations of CS. We are still working on some new innovative projects which are confidential till the launch. So here we foster problem solving, foster programming culture. We encourage the students to involve programming activities, and we participate in various national and international coding related competitions. We encourage open source development. So in today's session, we have four different phases, which are what is CP, what are CS Saturdays, introduction to Python, basics of problem solving, and logic building. Yeah, you all might have a question, right? What is competitive programming? Competitive programming is a mind sport where programmers compete to solve algorithmic problems in a time limit. Not just the time you have given to solve, not just the faster you solve the problems. Your code also must be fast in execution, and it must be as optimized as possible compared to everyone in the competition. This has been viral, right? Coding is dead, and AI will make English the new programming language, which was said by Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO. Yeah, instead of coding, we can use problem solving. See, problem solving can never be dead. The problems always come into the lives. So, coding will be transformed into English, and then we solve the problems. So learn how to solve the problems. Now the market is ready for problem solvers, not the people who know multiple languages. Hence we opted an easier language to make you understand concepts clearly, which is Python. So here we wanted to explain the problem solving concepts in pseudocode format, but we thought that anyways we are going with pseudocode format, right? So instead we can learn new language, which is Python. So why problem solving skills are important? Problem solving is at the core of entire engineering discipline. Finding better and more efficient solutions to modern day problems require immense problem solving skills. Yeah, in the market also, you also need to solve a lot of problems. So it leads to excellent opportunities at product based companies. What are CS Saturdays? So in these CS Saturdays, we are going to have live coding sessions, discussions about problem solving, data structures, algorithms, and much more. Yeah, we also have competitions for you. We also have contests, bi-weekly contests, and also offline contests. So every Saturday, we are going to have CS Saturdays at 7 p.m. We request everyone to join on every Saturday, and sessions will be recorded and uploaded on YouTube. So before getting into the core, happy Saturdays, enjoy learning, participate in the contests we conduct. So from now on, Omkar will take up the Saturdays. Thank you.
I am Omkar, a developer lead at Coding Studio. Before going to Python, let me introduce about our Coding Studio VBIT YouTube channel, where you can find the recorded lectures. Here you can also find the C++ lectures about our seniors who have recorded them and taken them. Yeah, then let's continue with our session. Before going to the session, let me share you some platforms where you can learn problem solving, means practice problem solving. One of the few of the famous platforms are HackerRank, CodeWars, LeetCode, HackerEarth, and Geek4Geeks. Okay. Then coming to that, HackerRank is most beginner friendly, where you can go topic wise preparation and practice it. We will also going to solve few problems here today. And then you can come to Geek for Geeks, where you can find practice questions by topic wise, or like you can also go with uh, SDE sheets or company wise preparations. And then mostly for beginners, it will be good preparing from language wise coding practices. For today's session, we are going to practice with Python, right? So you can use the Python session to practice the things you have learned today. And then another platform which I was discussing was CodeWars. CodeWars basically gives you problems daily basis on a story building, where you can select the programming language you want and the level of question you are attempting today. You can go to fundamentals, rank ups, and practice. It's your wish where which platform you want to practice. By initially today, we will be seeing many platforms too, like HackerRank, Geek for Geeks, and LeetCode. Let me continue with the session of Introduction to Python. Okay, before going to Python, I would like to introduce where you will get the resources of today's session, right? Today's session resources will be shared to you in the group. It will be in our GitHub repository at Coding Studio VBIT in the repository name CS Saturdays 2.0. Here you can find every resources which we are showing today. We will update even these resources. So starting with Introduction to Python. Python is a high-level language which was introduced in 1991, which is an interpretive language, and it's very simple and readable. That's why it's the main reason today we are introducing Python to the beginners. And not only that, Python is widely used in web development, data analytics, artificial intelligence, and scientific computing too. As we are exploring Python, we will see how Python is a good choice for this. So key features of Python, easy to learn and use. I said now, if you know English, you know Python. It's that easy. And then it is an interpretive language. Interpretive language and a compile language is some jargon you will recently listening in the programming world. Interpreter language means the code which we are writing will be executed line by line, and the compile language will execute whole program at a single cost. And this is versatile. It has a very large use case, as I explained now only, from web development to data science. And then the two major things why Python is like this: large standard libraries and community support. They literally has a good community support, which is constantly updating the Python and maintaining it. So let's go with Python. And if you don't have Python installed in your system, just search Python, and when you come to welcome Python, you can see download session. You can directly download the Python from clicking here. Actually, I have already downloaded Python, so I will not showing that here. So continuing with it, let's see the basic syntax in Python. So programming is a way to talk with the machine and do our task. So basic Python syntax to say that our machine to show this messages print. For today's session, I am using VS Code. You can install this too from Chrome. So let me make a folder where you will get your code today. So I'm naming this file as hello.py. Okay. Why py means it will define that our programming is done in Python. Our machine will understand this is a Python file and can be executed. And the code which I have copied from here, right? You can come easily here, and if you want to try the code, click the copy button, come to VS Code, and when you do this and save, you can actually see there are many extensions in VS Code. One of them is Python. Install Python. It will give you an easy way to run the programs. Okay, you can see a play button here. When I click this play button, you can see then the console there is a hello from Coding Studio. You can also see the paths and all. Ignore that, it's nothing. It's just a reference to the interpreter where the program is. Our actual output is this: hello from Coding Studio. Okay. Le- then the most common thing to the machine, what we say is store a thing. Storing a thing is like telling the computer to store some value, like data we have. Like this is message actually you can see here, right? Which is hello from the Coding Studio. Instead of hard coding, giving the value from there, what we can do is we can tell the machine to remember this. How can we say that is easy? Come here and yeah, name the reference what you want to call it, and just give the equal to operator, and then give the value you want to store. Can I store any value here? No. There are certain values which you can see actually in the further session. Okay, let's me print this message too. When I run that, you can again see the same output as given here. There is no change in that. Okay, let's continue with it. So when you come to the doc, we have also given a problem here, and the people who want to do explore Python more can use these two resources to do that. Let me open the problem which we are going to solve. So every problem platform, you can see there are two sessions. One session on the left side give you the description on uh, how the problem is, how you have to understand it, what are the inputs you are taking, what will be the return type, right? Basic thing. Let me remove this code. Actually, what we did in the VS Code, we are doing here too. Okay, coming to that. Many of them, while doing problem solving, jump to code. Like just they see, this is the input format, I will just come to that. Before that, try to dry run your code, make a few lines in it. As we said, it will be a lot useful for your coding contests and interview rounds, right? So before coding, always think what you want to write. And before that, try to understand the code. Many of the people skips it. So basically what this problem is saying is, here is simple line of code that will execute Python, right? We have seen this in the VS Code itself. So it's saying, just give me hello world message. Hello. Okay. Thing is, what it accepts in output is as it is should be there. While giving the print, you should take care of that. Okay. Let me run this code. You can easily run using this run button, and there are some test cases which are always executing when you are solving problems in this type of platforms. Majorly these type of platforms are just not for practicing problems, but also these platforms are used while you are uh, giving coding contests. Like HackerRank is widely used in Amazon and Microsoft too. And while coming to it, you can see there is another suggestion where you can use variables. Variables are the way where you can store the data. We have discussed it, right? So basic syntax and all I have discussed here. To give a message, when I said like the machine, to understand machine, we can make this as .py. Then this code doesn't have any meaning actually. To add meaning to that thing, we are making this extension as .py. Okay. So everything has a meaning, right? So whenever I don't want to add any meaning, but I want a message that I want to take for myself, then what you can do is come here and put a slash mark, and you can type something like this, and this don't have a meaning for the machine actually. This is just for our readability. Comments are a good practice. You should carry on. Another practice is naming convention. Naming 1 minute. Okay, naming convention. In most of the programming language, you will see naming conventions. So what are these naming conventions? Basically, when you are naming a variable or you're storing some values, there are some naming conventions followed by the programming language itself. In Python, mostly we follow snake case. Snake case. How snake case is? Like I type message, right? So I can do that message one or something. So that for adding two different names together, words together, what we do is add an underscore, and you can keep one here. So there are some practices every line which every language follows, right? So one of them is snake case, which Python follows. And not only this, you can, like, while naming a variable, some practices are it should not start with number numbers. Okay, it should not start with numbers or any characters. These are the things which we keep in mind. And the snake case, you will see in Python, snake case is widely followed. And for variable names, snake case is mostly used. Uh, okay, then coming to our data types, like I said, right, we can store and say the machine to memorize the values. For that, there are some restrictions, right? For that, come here to our doc section in where you can find data types. So data types are the way which through which we are telling the machine that we are actually storing these values of this data type. Okay. Okay. Then starting with data types, these are of different purposes. One of the major purposes numbers. You can also ask your doubts in the comment section. I am actively seeing the comments. If you have any doubts, I will clarify here. Okay. So starting with it, the first data type you will see in every programming language is numeric types. Numerics in Python are of three types. As like other language, so like it's also used in data science, right? Analytics and other purposes. So Python supports complex numbers too. So for that, let's create another file, data types, data py. Okay, where you can come and copy this code and try in that file. For now, I am trying. What I will do is, I will come here and I will use Python shell. Why Python shell, not the data type is? We can easily see the output here. First of all, when you are coming to your terminal, just type Python. Windows user type Python, and the Mac users type Python 3, or you will have an issues with it because the version is little varying with it. Okay, Mac users use Python 3, Windows Python. So coming to that, we have seen like integer, one of the data type, right? Integer. I'm naming the variable which I want to store a value as age, and then adding the value as 18 and saying that to store. And then if I want to see the output here, easily you can either use print statement. You can see, yeah. Another way to see here and fast observation is just write the variable name and enter. So for this flexibility, I am using this uh, terminal for now. We will share the code in the same repository where you will find everything. Okay. So then there is no just whole numbers, right? There are sometimes values like temperature or other things which can be stored in a value. So for storing them, they are stored in a particular way, saying floating point. Floating point, to store a floating point value, you can go with 1.896, like something like this. And when you enter, you are saying it is memorized. Okay. And again, I'm using temp. Then yeah, you can see that's a floating value. So you are saying that there are types, right? How can I know that this is a particular type? It's so easy. Come here and type function. We'll discuss about functions in a little while. Till that, use this type. Everything which is having parentheses are functions. Okay, this brackets. These are in technical word. These are parentheses. So type of age I want to see. Yeah, you can see that it's class int. So Python is a basically object oriented, total object oriented. So everything here is an object. That's why you can see something known as class with it. We will discuss this in a few minutes. Don't be stressed that much, okay? And continuing with that, just I can store these numbers or what? No, we have also seen that we can store the complex number. So I am saying that complex underscore no for number. And then if you want to store a complex number, just write the real part of it and then add a addition operator actually, and then you can use any number and keep a j. It will make that number as complex. If you want to know that how it is referred here is, you can just do complex underscore number, and when you enter you can see that this is a class of complex. You can store complex number to here. So continuing that, we will explore other data types. So coming with that, sequential types. Sequential types are like collection of various data together. Like it can be a string, list, tuple, maps. There are a number of. We will explore them one by one. Let's first see the string value. String value. What string value do is, it tells about a particular way of storing characters. Like I said, right, these things and all are characters. When I am adding double quotes to it, when coming here, I am saying Omkar. It is not defined. If you are wondering why I am having an error message here, you can download another extension known as ErrorLens, which will be lot useful for you. So everything, every error we are seeing, you can see here. So Omkar is not defined, right? So to make this defined, one way I can do is, I can select this and then put into quotes saying that this is a string value. This is not having any meaning, but having a particular value to be stored. So again, like my underscore name will be something I want to store, right? It is how a string is created. Nice, right? And then you can see why I'm saying it's a collection type, sequential type, is data is flowing continuously. There is not just a unique value. You can see it has a unique value, but it's not just a single unit, right? Like it has many characters in it. To say that there is no character type, everything in a Python is a string object. And then coming to here, we can see the next data type in our list is list. So list is a way to store a mutable collection of data. In a while, we will discuss about mutable and immutability, which is a lot confusing topic, majorly confused for a while for constant and variable thing actually. So what is this fruits actually? Is a collection. I want to store a number of names here. So yeah, coming here and to see fast output, I will use the terminal again. Yeah, you can see, yeah. Lists are defined in a way like square brackets. These are known as brackets. Okay. In technical language, it's known as brackets. And these things were parentheses. You remember this? These are very particularly, many of the programmers like being picky for the names. So I would like to tell that. Yeah. Fruits. I'm defining fruits. So what happens is when I say fruits, I can see the list of data. So in memory, when I create something like this, what happens is it create a continuous allocation. To visualize this, let's go to Skeletor. Yeah, we have seen a list of fruits, right? Similarly, I made an integer list where you will see numbers 1, 2, 3. How can I create in this in Python? So easy. L1, say L1, and then keep an assignment operator where you will have a square brackets saying that it's a list, right? Then separate the values with commas. So what happens is in a memory, it's a continuous flow, right? It takes a particular position from where it is stored the values, particularly like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I can access them together. But what if I want to access them one by one? Like not always I want to access every of these five elements, right? So for that, there is a concept of indexing. For that, come here, just put the square brackets here too, and you can start the indexing with 0. Many of the programming languages start the indexing from 0 because as we seen here in the diagram that the data is stored continuously. To get the first value, what easy way can be there? Like I can't say the first value, right? So the most of the easy ways declaring that in index of 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and then going with 4. So if we what we observed is if there is a elements of n elements in a list, it is of n size, then the indexing will be n minus 1, right? Then coming to that, we can see if I want to access the first one, the one thing which can you do is square brackets, then you can give the index 0. When I call this, you can see like fruit is not defined. One of the major errors you can all in for this while we can also see some errors. Okay, to understand them. One of them is name error. Name error is one when you get things when are not defined. Like fruit is not defined. Fruits are defined. So come here and just keep S. Never be afraid of errors. It are common things when you are programming. Just try to understand them easy way to debug things. Okay, and when I do enter, you can see apple. I accessed apple. This is known as indexing. Like this value of 0, I am taking the first index value and printing that. Okay, then continuing with that, coming to other type is tuple. Tuple is like it is also an ordered way of storing things, but immutable collection. Why is like you are creating two ways of storing the ordered things in a way of mutability immutability is the main reason is data should not be changed by anyone. Anyone can access the data, right? I am writing in terminal. I can see that I have defined this up here and I'm accessing till here. So it's known as the concept of scopes, right? We will discuss that. So like going on, what we can see is we can access that everywhere. So not there, it should not be changed every time. Like if I'm building something to store my data collection, like my Aadhaar, my details and all, that time anyone should not come there and change the value as it is, right? For that, we are having two ways of doing that. One thing is uh, list, another way is tuple. To see this example, you can come here and copy it. Just like coordinates are something which should not be tampered in our canvas. So yeah, and the easy way you can use that is or needs and then square bracket 0. Yeah, you can access them that easily. But sometimes I don't want to access like with these zeros and ones or something like that, right? I want to access things from my key, like I want to name my own index. How can I do that? The way of doing that is dictionaries in Python. So let's create my details, a dictionary, my details, a dictionary, which will having my details. I want to have my name, coding studio. I'm storing the name of coding studio for now, and the age. Suppose for now coding studio is 10 years. Okay, and when I enter this, you can see something known as error, right? This is another error, syntax error. This is coming when you are doing a syntax error, like you are not following the rules as it is. Okay, so you can see I have keep something as equal to, which is saying not to be used here when you are declaring a dictionary keys. So to fix it easily, come here and keep a colon and then enter it. And if you want to access this easily, you can come my details and same thing, indexing continues here too, but the way of accessing is changed. How it's changed is, now the index was 0123 as it was not our way of storing it, but now compiler has given me the rights to store it in the way of names. Name is the key and this coding studio is the value. Okay, so using that key I am accessing it, and when I keep enter, you can see I can easily access coding studio. Okay, like these are all the ways. No, you can also have sets. Sets are the way to store unique collections. These are also immutable. And one thing which you will notice it, sets is not ordered always. Like when I come to say that unique numbers, you can see a particular order is being printed here, but it's not always that. Memory is storing in a continuous way. Here, like you can see, the sets are not like continuous, so that we can access from 0, 1, 2, like that. We can't do that actually. So the way of accessing it is quite different. You can like use get methods, and like we will see that methods from here. You can see that methods here, intersection difference. I am not added it. Easy way when you are confused like this is come here and ask help. You can easily get help, unique underscore number, and you can, what happened, unique number, sorry, same name error. Yeah, you can see there is a lot of things you can see here using the help command. Here you can see that it's an unordered collection of elements. It's the definition they give, and there are some methods also to get something, like get something. One thing I can do is to quit this, uh, press Q, okay, and then come here, unique number dot get one. And another thing is you will see attribute error, which is one of the most common thing. How it's most common is like when you are like accessing things like this dot get or something, that error will be shown as attribute error because that are not defined. You can see here how actually like how are, what are the methods are described to it. You can check contain, and you can equate it, get it, get attribute, right? So like that you can, let's check that with get attribute. Okay, another thing is get attribute is not defined. Did you mean that? Yeah, I mean that. Come in here, get attributes, copying this, and yeah, just say that, and you will see that it's a wrapper method of set object address and all. So like this, you can also take care when you are forget how to do something. So yeah, continuing with our data types. booleans. Booleans are way to say that it's either true or it's false. Okay, come here. Is active. Think you are. Let me. Python. It's filled a lot, so I will use a new terminal. Yeah, to show that is active. Is active is a variable where I'm storing a data type true. True is way of saying yeah, it's yes. From every now we will see operators where you can see everything is evaluated in the value of true or false. On this true or false, we want to do some conditions and play with things, right? Okay, can you come here? You can just capital true or say false to it. And then coming to that, something we saw was mutability, immutability. And many men confuse this with constant and final thing. Like when I say A is equal to 1, B is equal to A, then I want to access both the values A comma B. I am printing that A comma B. So both the values are 1, right? When you come, what the immutable data type says, I don't change my value that easily. I will change that value with a new value when the memory give me a new reference, not like just giving me a way to change that. So coming with that, A equal to making this 5. So you can see that A value is 5, but I did B equal to A, right? But B value doesn't change. This is what happens. What happens in the memory is coming here. So yeah, A was pointing to some value 10 or 1, okay? And when we said B equal to A, it's not actually pointing to A. It's actually pointing to the reference 10. B don't says that I'm pointing to A. I'm pointing to the actual reference 10. So when I change it value to 5, right? The A value actually was pointing to 5. Now the reference got changed. This is what happens when mutability things. Like many of them says in Python, many of the people who are knowing Python here can say that strings are immutable, tuples are immutable, right? So the list of mutability and mutability is here. Like you can see list, set, dictionary, byte array are mutable, and integers, floating, these values are immutable. How like many of the people who know Python will say that it's not actually like that, right? String was only string and tuple were the things immutable, right? Then what is this concept? I didn't actually understand. Then let's come back here. I am making something like coolest club. Coolest club. I am assigning with the value coding studio. Okay. I am storing this value here, and then coming to that club coding, someone came and said, don't write coding studio like that. You can actually write coding studio like this, a branding of it. Okay, I said that. So I reinitialized it, right? Many of you will thinking it should be giving error, right? Like it immutable. That means the data should not be changed. Immutability and mutability doesn't mean that actually. What it actually means is you are not tampering the actual value in memory. What you are doing is always creating a new references in memory and then storing them in the memory. Okay, like when you come here, what happens is when I changed it value right to coding studio, actually its actual values changed from this value to this value, but this value didn't change actually. This our machine didn't tamper it. That's the thing when we say mutability and immutability concept comes in. The actual thing is this value doesn't tamper it. The compiler or the machine which is working behind the scene don't change this value. It create a new value and assign this value to this coolest club. Okay. So yeah, first initially it was pointing here and then it started pointing here. Uh, all these data types work that way. But what happens to this actual value, right? What happens is a software known as garbage collector comes here and the value which is not being referenced from a long time will be deleted from the memory. By this way, our programming language saves our memory from stack overflow error. Like we have seen a number of errors here, right? Similarly, there is a memory error, stack overflow. It's saved from that. Okay. Then continuing with that, that's the concept of immutability and mutability. You want screenshots, you can take of this. We will also share this link in our GitHub repository. Okay, then coming to things like, can I just store things in this? No, you can also, what you can do is perform actions on this. Like I have created A, right? You can also add them, add with another operations like P. Then I can see the value of 6. These are known as operators, something which is performing actions on our variables or the stored value or any value which we want to change. Sometimes we don't actually store some values. We can just add things, right? Like 1 plus a plus 1 or 1 plus a, they're commutative. So when I enter this, you can see, I can see the value of a. But the thing is, it's not changing the actual value of a. You can come here and you can see the value of a is still 5, not 6. So how to change this value? We have seen the assignment operator, right? Equal to, which is like changing the value or assigning the value to it, like a plus 1. Now, when I check this value, it actually being 6. It changes in the memory. Similarly, when you come here, you can see a set of operators. When you come here, you can see a set of operators in our doc, like assignment operator, uh, uh, the comparison operators and logical operators, bitwise operators, assignment operators. You can just come here and take this code files, copy them, and create a new file, assignment operator. Uh, just name this operators actually, operators.py. Okay, and you can just paste them. You can see I have also commented the outputs, what it will be. So this operator is known as assignment operator, and this is addition operator, and this is subtraction. Multiplication is denoted with asterisks. You can also see there is double asterisks, which is mean exponential. What's the main difference is? Come here, let's check that. You, when you want to multiply like 2 into 3, right? I want 6. But sometimes I want to take the power of it. How can I do is 2 star star 3, making it an exponentially growth. So when I enter this, you can see 8, the value of 8, which is actually there. Okay, which is like 2 into 2 into 2, right? Like this operator works. Instead of doing this, you can do this easily. So like I was saying, Python was used in scientific reasons, right? Scientific analysis and data analytics, right? So why Python is picked is, let me do that. If I pick 2 power 100, if I enter that, you can see this is a huge number. In any of the programming language, you can know this will be stored in some another way. Python has a huge precision for integers actually. So this for numbers, Python treat numbers very specially. So people love Python for that. The main reason for this is Python has great precision on numbers. So whatever you are doing, it stores in a very valuable way. It stores each and every integer. If I go and say like 1,000, you can see this much big integer is also stored here, right? But in other programming languages, this is handled in a different way. So like many of the programmers like Python for this main reason, that numbers are efficiently managed. But when comes to some like floating point, you can see some of the ambiguity, like 0.1 minus 0.1 uh, is 0, right? But when I come here, I can say plus and add one time plus, you can see something like a long floating point has came. So handling floating point is not that easy. And when you say always parenthesize an expression, it's a good practice actually. We can see many of the questions saying that what will be the output of this and that, uh, confusing in how will the sign operator precedence work. But I would say always go with parenthesization. And when I do this, you will obviously expect zero point 0.0 something, right? But you can see there is something random number. Floating point handling is not that easy in any programming language. So this is something, some behaviors you should keep mind while you are solving problems. Okay. Then let's close this everything. You can actually try more as operators. One of them which will be more used is comparison operators. Comparison operators, in many of the problems we have seen that comparison operators help in comparing values, not just numbers or things. You can also compare strings or lists, like data types too. Like we have taken here the example of numbers, right? You can also take the example of strings. Coming to see the fast example, come here, just type Python, again come here, like, yeah. So making a equal to a, you can also compare like this. But like we said about the memory thing, right? So this both a are not referencing to the same thing. So what you can check is a is a. You can say okay, yeah. You can compare, like, this is another warning, syntax warning, saying that you can't compare things like that. So easy way is like checking that this string. You can say check this like this. Not only that, type 1, another way is to using the is operator. Coming here, okay, control. Let me verify that I am doing that correct. Is operator, identity operator, yeah, is not b. uh, let's copy this example itself. Coming to that, uh, paste it, and I'm entering it. Yeah, you can see it's true. So you can not only use equal to, you can also use the is one. Okay, then you can come in. Another one is in operator, membership operator. In collection, you have seen that, right? Like there are number of fruit, like fruit example. Let's go with languages example this time. Lang, I am storing in lang in the square brackets. I am storing C, then I am storing C++, then I am storing Java. So after that, if I want to check, this is a small list, right? But sometimes that can be a list of 100 elements or 200 elements. Then what I can do is, if I want to check that Python py in is that in lang, then you can see false because I have not stored Python. So bad, right? not having its own list, its example, and it's not in the list. So it's checking the membership operator, and then coming to assignment operator. Easiest assignment operator we have seen till now is like we are doing a equal to 10 or something, and just we are assigning it. The and we have seen example a plus 1. I know this that the same values are referenced again and again, right? So, like, interpreter is so intelligent that if you give, like, if I print the way a value, it's 10. Interpreter is so intelligent that when you say a and keep plus operator and then keep equal to operator and give a value like 3 this time, it will actually give you a value of 14. How this actually executed is 3a equal to a plus 3. In compiler, what it did is it took the a container and then uh, assigned the value of a previously, what it was 11, and then added the 3 value to it and did that. So it won't give me an error because I used the hash thing. Okay, again I can go with that. You can use operators like this. So what is the actual use of operator? But like okay, you did give me the operators list also you have given, but where actually operators are used? Majorly operators are used with conditionals or looping statements to perform some actions in a problem. So let's see conditionals and then we will go to some solve problems from the platforms. Okay, one of thing is like I don't want the continuous flow. When I come to execute this, let me close that. I add something like this conditional actually. Conditional dot py. Okay. Sometimes, okay, I have to put this in. Okay. Sometimes I don't want like print Omkar and then print coding studio. Okay, I don't what we do is sequentially operate this, but not all time I want to store this uh, execute this thing in a sequence, right? Not all problem want that. So what do is the developers of the program gave us conditionals. So conditionals are the way to define our. So yeah, there is an indent expected indent block. So why it's an error is in Python we don't have the scoping mechanism with curly braces. So what we do is we use indentation. Just keep tab space. Don't give like 4 spaces or 2 spaces. Uh, According to editor or the environment you are using, that indentation changes actually. So always try to give tab, not the space manually like 2 spaces or 4 spaces. Okay, so I want to check, let's make some variable. I want to check is active, like is all right, there is booleans is active equal to true. If someone is active, like it's a platform, it's a website, if the person is logged in, this is active changes its value. Then what happens is true is not defined because capital T is, yeah. What actually happens is when you do this, like uh, storing this value, this if statement check inside thing is true or false. If that it's true, it gives the output like coding studio. But what if the coding studio doesn't log into that website, I want to change its value, right? I should not show anything to it. So you can see it was our previous output showing Coding Studio, but in our new output there is nothing it's printed. But not every time that should work, right? Like how can we know that our website is working? So to tell that, you can keep something like else. Else block is something which is activated when this condition inside is false. So what we can say is just print please log in bro, please log in bro. That means that if I am not logging, just log in bro. Why are you not logging in? Our website is cool. Yeah, see, previously we see there is no output. It was just our my path actually, and then now we can see that else part. But like, can I just check for single condition? No, not actually. You can also check for multiple condition. And when you want to comment a lot of things together in VS Code, you can just use control slash control slash. It will comment everything automatically. Okay. Now, according to the user's input of his age, I can make is I can tell him to do some activity. Okay, like I'm storing an age value. So let's see how to take input. To take input, we have an input function in Python. So just taking input, let's first take this input, and you can see in single quotes when string message I'm passing, enter your age, enter your age, saying that please enter your age. This is a function which is saying asking this question and then take a input, right? So let's do that, and you can see that age is being asked. I will enter 20. So I'm doing nothing, right? So it's giving me nothing. But when you see here, print its type type of age, and run it. Okay, what happened? Some error. Let me check that. Print type of is defined. Yeah. Let's run this conditional pressing. Let me check this again. Object variable string. Okay. And that says class string. Yeah, we got that. Let me delete this shell. You can see the clean output. Yeah, enter your age. I will enter it 20, and when you can see that it's a string type. Okay, but I want that has to be integer, right? Because I want to compare that and perform some action. So to do that, select that in VS Code. You can easily keep after selecting that, click Shift and then parenthesis. You can easily parenthesize them and then keep int. So it value change to int. When I run this time and say 30, yeah, the class is int actually. Okay, according to that, now we have seen that we can take input, right? So doing that, making condition on it, I'm saying age less than 12. I want to print a message saying that you are a kid. Okay, just I don't want to do that. I want to print something known as you will get chocolate. For that I am using cocoa. Okay, you can do that easily. So remember, if you want to execute this both when age is 12, you have to give indentation after the if statement for sure. If this indentation is not there, right? If I am doing that, let's keep something as else true. Yeah, see that the scope of else is broken. That's why it's saying expected expression. What expression it was expecting is if expression. And when I indent it back, you can see that okay, it's done. One of the problem is done, and then else you are you are teen or adult. Okay, I want to run this. Okay, I am for now I am taking 10 as the input, and then you can see the type is integer. You are a kid, you will get Coco. But what if like we are taking this adult or teen together, right? But I don't want to do that. So the easy way to do that is elif means else if. I'm saying else part to it, like else if it's a shortcut actually. El represent else, and if says you can give me another condition, parenthesize them. I actually like parenthesizing. So yeah, I'm saying you are print you are teen. Okay, age less than 18. 18. Okay, then coming here I will give age as 18. Let's see that 18 is also considered teen, right? But it's went to the down condition. What condition it went to? You are a teen or adult? Let me change that message actually. Not like this, right? You wanted like you are adult. So this is what we wanted, and we also wanted 18 to be there. So you can keep equal to, so that you can compare that it should be less than equal to. Okay, when you come into that and run this, when I'm running this with 18 now, you can see you are 18. The output you got is you are 18. Yeah, let me comment this output. We don't want that. Okay. Nice. Then this is if, but sometimes I want to loop things. How to loop is in Python, looping is so easy. Let me create a new file and say about loops.py. Why what loops? Like what are loops or why loops? Like I'm saying print hello, hello, hello. But I want to print this a 10 times. For copying this down, the VS Code shortcut is Shift Alt down arrow. Like I did this 10 times. Yeah, because I know that it's 10. I can run, yeah, 10 hellos are there. But not its ideal case, right? So writing these things again, I'm bored of it. So what you can do is you have different things like functions which can do that task for you, like while is something you can do that. Before that, I want to say how much the condition is. To that, I'm declaring a variable I 0 while I is less than equal to 10. Let's keep that 1, it would be better. And it's expecting a colon to start the scope of it. So yeah, continuing with that, I is less than equal to 10. I want to print that hello. Hello. And when I save this and run this, you can see that it's infinitely looping, right? It will eat your memory. Stop it. Okay. What happens is the value of I is not updating. To update it, you should like give I plus 1. We have seen this shorthand, right? For this, what was it? I plus equal to 1. Okay, this is what you can do. And when you run this, you can actually see there are 10 hello worlds only, not like infinity things which were we were seeing before. It's so long. Okay, some conditions maximum people forget is updation condition. You have given the condition here, but you don't update the value of that variable. And another thing you will be confused is you can come here and say plus plus here. So when you do that, okay, plus plus is not defined here. It's equal to 1. This is something like sorry, I have to parenthesize it. You will see this code sometimes too, but what happens is it's a lot ambiguous. Like you are updating the value of I here only, and you are updating the checking the condition to here only. Uh, Parenthesis is not closed. It's not the case. Let it be. Okay. Okay. But does this is only way? No. In Python, you can also see another way like for I, like the same I value. I am commenting this two and commenting these two. Okay. For I, you have already initialized it, right? So what I'm doing is I'm reinitializing with 0 and saying that I is less than 10, and then I plus equal to 1. Why I'm getting this? It's actually so in for loop in Python, what we do is range operation. In range operation, you can see that I is in range. What range gives is to see instant output. Just come here, range. I have not activated Python. I should activate it. Python, and then come here and do that range of 10. When I print range of 10, it says 0 to 10. Okay, means it's giving me numbers in 0 to 10 range. I don't want from 0, right? I want it from 1. Come here, what you can do is you can keep 1 here, and after that just say print I to it. Okay, and you can do that. What happened? Invalid syntax. Wait a minute. Let me clear this. We can see that error clearly. Yeah. So see that sometimes it not save correctly. It took some minute for me. It so you can see that. But the main reason is you can see that 10 is not included here, right? So I want to include it. Then I have to take a value more than it. And when I run that, you can see 10 is included it. And sometimes I want to skip the values, right? Then just what you do is I give a comma and say 2. I want to skip 2 numbers, and when I run that, you can see that it's actually skipping two numbers. Okay. Okay, with this knowledge, can we solve some questions? Yeah, we can. Like if you come to lead code itself, lead code has one of easy question, which is assigning add two integers. Lead code do have some easy one, and like these are type annotations so that you can assign any value you like to it. We discussed integers and all, right? So what lead code do is for type safety, add the colon and give the type for it. So okay, come here and say that return. Just ignore this. We will do that. It wanted a value of adding two integers like 12 plus 5 is 17, right? So for that, num plus num2. I'm doing that much, and we have seen that you can easily do that. And when you run this, you can see the test case actually passed. There are two test cases. You can do that, and you can submit this. And when you submit, there are some comparisons like analyze complexities, runtime, and other things. This was the thing when we were talking about the speed you did, the optimality you did. It is the thing. Okay. If we have seen a problem on operators, continuing with that, can we do something with conditionals? Yes. Come to the Geek for Geeks. You will have this check the status one, say to solve it, and you will see that there is a problem on it where we have to use conditionals. Like it's saying you have given two integers a and b and a boolean value flag. You are getting three inputs, this a and b and flag. Okay, the task is to check the status and return accordingly. Okay, then coming to that, return true for the following two cases. Means there are two cases actually, and you can use them to do that according to that. Either A or B, like both A or B, when are is non-negative, means they are positive, either 0 or greater than 0. Okay. Flag is false. Both A and B are negative and flag is false. This is the condition you will be seeing many times, right? Like how to solve this, when you come and most of the code is written for you. Like there are something like while loop we have seen, and there is a def keyword which we don't know, and this something like this. So what are this is a way of writing a function. We will see function definition right now. So that this is a way of writing function. So whenever you are writing in this type of platforms, you have to complete this type of code parts, not actual total code. You just need to complete some part of it. So let's do with the knowledge we have here. So what we did is, yeah, come here, and uh, if condition, I have to check that there is a value a, right? A should always be greater than equal to 0. Okay, sorry, I didn't check the comments. What is Python? So one thing is Python. You didn't. I think you have joined late. Python is a high-level language which is used for problem like programming in real life. Like it's have a huge application, web development and all. And for the window size, sorry, I should increase it. Okay, now it's okay for the window size. If the window size is okay, please comment it down. And the question, another question, what is conditional? Like we have seen that the sequential uh, execution of our code, right? To break that sequential execution and want to execute our things according to our conditions, like expressions we did, like age is less than 12, age is less than equal to 18. In that cases, we use something known as conditionals. Conditionals are like if, elif, else if. This syntax, we have discussed this. Why are you not sharing the meet screen? Why I'm not? I didn't get it. Why not the original ideally window? Yeah, my screen is visible, I think so. And okay, let's continue that. I think I have mentioned things. I don't know why he is doing that. Okay, for that we were solving a question, right? So where was I? I should check that either of A or B, like or B should be greater than 0. For that, like A greater than equal to 0, to check these conditions like or and, what I can do is there is direct keyword or in our document too. You can find this in operators. Come to operators. Whenever you have doubts here, you can just come here and use it. So and or not. What this do is check for few conditions accordingly. Like and operator, check if the both the conditions. Like I want sometimes both the condition to be checked and it should be true. Okay, for that I will use and sometimes like there are conditions when I want only one condition to be true and I will execute things. For that there is or. Okay, let's continue with that. So here it is given or, right? So I picked or. So then b should be greater than equal to 0. Okay, and then there is also one condition, not both. Both should not be greater than. So for that, I can just say and keep not, just to complement things. And making this, again I'm parenthesizing. In parenthesis, a greater than equal to 0 and b greater than equal to 0. This will be condition where first it will check any of them is greater than 0, then it's non-negative, right? And then here it will check that both should not be positive and will return, this condition will return true actually, and then this will make it like true or false according to the if it written true, it says false. If it says false, then it's written true according to our condition. Okay, and then we can come here and say again and the flag value say can be compared like flag equal to for capital false. Okay, false, you can do that. Okay, with this condition I want to return things, like I want to give thing that is true. And if elif there is a condition like both should be negative and then true. Okay, then for that I can just come to elif condition saying a should be 0 and b should be less than 0. Sorry, I made it capital B, small b it should be, and then flag, just keep flag, or you can, for your reusability, you can say is true actually. Okay, and then come here and say return true. Okay, this is one condition, and coming to that another condition, else return, just keep tab and return false. This problem want to save this. Okay, and when I run that, sorry, I didn't kept a colon here, and when I run that, yeah, you can see that it's true or false accepted, right? You can solve problems like this. And coming to the last part of the session, which are let's come to the docs, which are functions and classes. We are continuously seeing that type of platforms. There is something like def, and so there is in LeetCode we have seen something like at the session. When I started the session, we said like Python is completely object oriented, right? So like classes dot py, I'm naming that for a reason. Okay, so when we said Python is completely object oriented, making that object oriented, everything is having a something known as class. Class is a keyword which says giving a general template to it. It's like it's a number, it's a string, it's something, right? So according to that, I can also design some data types of our own choice, like programmer. Programmer is something I want to create. So like programmer blueprint, I would do that easily. Come and say class programmer, and then yeah, accepted indentation. And whenever I do that, I want a value name. Name is equal to none. Like we have discussed none, right? When I don't have any value, I can say it null. And then coming to that, if I want to create a programmer like this, easy way, you can check the docs. Come here, come to class. Yeah, you can see something is written here like class variables and value. I have given null value for now because saying that it's empty. Okay. You can also see that a dog example is given here. So programmer, let's make, I'm creating myself, Omkar, a programmer. So yeah, come here. I am to make this a object of that, you have to make like that. And when Omkar dot, I have to access name like this and give name equal to Omkar. Okay. And wait, let me delete this. And in fresh one, you can see that there is something, there is no value because I think I now have not printed it. Let me print Omkar dot name. Okay, you can actually define that. You can see Omkar. You can also customly define data types for it. So just like every time I have to do like this, no, you can easily do one thing is define. Define is used for defining some methods here, which is like one of the common here in classes init. And when you do init, right, there is something known as self. Self is referencing for myself, means this object, Omkar. So when I do self dot name equal to name, where should I get this data from? You can come here and take this data from here actually. Whenever you're making this, you can do that. So you can skip this line now and pass this has Omkar here. Okay. And you can see the same output is there. But just not like that, I want to do that, right? I want sometimes to do some special things for me, like greet, greet people. So let's come here out of the class, not in the class actually. I want to greet people like according with my name. Let me comment this also. Let me comment this also. For functions, like these are reusable codes actually. My VS code, I think I should refresh it. 1 minute, I should close it and start it. Okay, coming here. So I said, how can I share that? Expected indented block. Real quick, just remove this plan for now. And like, come here. I want some more space. Come here. Yeah. So I want to print some messages like good morning, or sometimes I have to add few good. So just you can come here and say greet so that I can conditionally call things. Greet, it says good. We have seen the example in conditionals, right? Where we are calling this. You are a kid and you are doing that. For more clean code, what people do is they define a function where they say gkid, means I am saying that for kid, I will execute this value and I'm calling this gkid, and if I run and I give 10 value, we can see same thing is executed. First modular code, what people do is they do write functions like this in some other files and then call them functions in the place where they are using. So like this, you can actually go with functions. Okay. Like for today, it's already 8:37, I think so. Like it's time for concluding it. Yeah, I have discussed everything like functions and what all. We have also provided some links where you can practice this. Okay, for next week, we will continue problem solving with the continue solving these problems and do more exploration of the sites. We can continue this session as it is. Do check the previous classes, and please try to follow these classes regularly. Join the class next week too. Thank you.